Hey everyone, bit of a disclaimer before this video today. We have some weird audio issues going on and I'm not really sure why. I recorded this straight after the Gears Tactics one, hence my same attire, but for some reason everything sounded a lot more echoey in this one and I haven't been able to re-record it. My apologies for that. I've tried to fix it as much as I can in post. It might sound a little bit weird, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for understanding. Star Wars. The only franchise considered to be fantastic, despite every movie past 1983 being hated by the internet, even the good ones. The same can't be said for the games, which when they aren't glorified gambling sims are usually well liked. Recently though, Star Wars video games have been rather controversial, ever since everyone's favourite company, EA, got exclusive rights to the license. But when their new Golden Boy Respawn announced they were making a single-player Star Wars game, many fans were hopeful, but were they right to be? Well, today we find out as I ask, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, how bad can it be? Jedi Fallen Order takes place between the prequel and original trilogies, 5 years after Order 66. You play as Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan who is in hiding from the Empire on the scrapping planet of Bracca. One day while working on a salvage, Cal and friend Prauf are sent tumbling to their doom, forcing Cal to reveal his Force powers. Soon after, the Empire lands on Bracca. The accompanying Imperial Inquisitors, the 2nd and 9th Sisters, kill Prauf and chase Cal until he's saved by Cere, a former Jedi, and Grease, a Litero pilot. Cere and Grease with their ship the Mantis take Cal to Bogano, where he finds a droid called BD-1 who agrees to be his companion. He also finds the work of one Eno Cordova, a Jedi Master who studied an ancient race known as the Zepho, the temple of whom on Bogano contains a Jedi holocron with important data regarding a lot of Force-sensitive children. Cal and the team spend the rest of the game trying to access this holocron. The story of Jedi Fallen Order is one that I find pretty enjoyable. The performances of all the main cast are great, and it is genuinely just a fun Star Wars experience. But it isn't perfect though, and to explain why I do have to dip into some major spoiler territory. So, spoiler warning on screen. Skip to the time code you see if you want to skip all of that, it'll take you to the next section, but if not, hear me out. Jedi Fallen Order is a game that could have easily been twice as long, and probably would have been better for it. Everything feels sort of condensed and rushed towards the end. Nowhere is this more relevant than Darren, a Night Sister you meet on the planet Dathomir, who right towards the end of the game joins your crew. This entire relationship just seemed so rushed. You go from her trying to kill you, to her being angry with a fallen Jedi on Dathomir, who is also really rushed in this game, to killing him, to joining you on your ship, to saving your life and maybe being into you romantically. The latter three scenarios all happened within approximately 2 hours of the end of the game. It's not super speed, sure, but it seemed like such a sudden turnaround. Then we have the Inquisitors, who in my opinion both literally and figuratively got cut short. I don't care as much for the Ninth Sister because she's a nothing character from moment one who you then yeet out of a tree. But for Trilla, or the second sister who's Cere's Padawan, that's a character with so much more potential and she's just slain right at the end. Trilla is an A+ character. She's bloodthirsty and relentless from moment one. Trilla's never-ending hunt of Cal is just great, especially when she reveals herself as Cere's Padawan, adding some doubt and mistrust amongst our protagonists. The duels with her are challenging but fun. You're constantly outmatched by her until the very end where you do get the upper hand on her and beat her in a duel. And then it happens. Cere comes into the room where you're dueling Trilla and confronts her face to face. She starts talking to her about the rage, about the anger, about everything she's done and that they've both done. And Trilla starts to forgive. She starts to come back to the light. And then you hear it. The mechanical breathing, the heavy set footfalls, then out of the smoke in the background, blurred like he's Michael goddamned Myers himself. Darth Vader is holding Trilla in place before jumping down, killing Trilla, and throwing Cere to what we presume at the time is her death. And just like that, it is you and Vader. I don't swear too much on this channel anymore, but this sequence gave me fucking chills. With the following chase after this, away from Vader, just being the icing on the cake. I'm sad it came at the expense of what could have been an astonishingly great character to bring into a sequel though. The idea of Trilla escaping with you somehow, conflicted and trying to redeem herself while facing what she's done, now she's seeing the light again, would have made for some excellent story, and while she may not be dead because, well, it's Star Wars, it left a little bitter taste in my mouth, even with all of that good stuff with Vader going on. This is the time where I should point out that I played this on a PS4 and not a PC or PS4 Pro, and the way this game looks definitely took a hit because of that. Textures would take a while to load in right, which got problematic in cutscenes. Overall, it was still fine with the backgrounds on these worlds especially looking outstanding, but there was one gripe I had which seemed to be a problem across the many versions that I've seen: the lighting. The lighting in this game really isn't that good, often showcased by Cal's fiery red locks, glowing like the sun when they probably shouldn't be. It could have used some more work. Aside from this, I've spotted a few bugs throughout my playthrough, with some animations not having a lightsaber blade, some T-posing it seems, and even some map loading issues here and there. Then we have the various skins which you can unlock via the dotted around chests on every single world, and my god, are some of these awful. Some of them are cool, but between the ponchos, BD1 skins, and the Mantis skins, you can make some, quite frankly, garish combinations, and I both love it and hate it. The sound, meanwhile, is just spectacular all around because, well, it's Star Wars, and Star Wars does good sound. I don't know what you want me to say, because I can't think of a Star Wars thing with bad sound design off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna take the positive and move on to the gameplay. The main thing that I love about Jedi Fallen Order is the combat, a sort of blend between the free flow of Arkham and the precision and balance of Sekiro. Jedi Fallen Order provides a challenging, sometimes frustrating, but really fun experience with a lightsaber. The combat is pretty daunting at first, with a focus on parrying enemy attacks to deplete their balance/block gauge. When you do so, you're open to get a hit in before they recover and come back for some more. Ranged attackers are mostly just a nuisance for you to deflect, but the melee duels in this game are very satisfying and keep you on your toes throughout. Until you get more force powers which tip the scales in your direction so hard it might as well be a vertical line. You do have a limited amount of force, to be fair, but honestly it doesn't make much of a difference in small fights. A town of stormtroopers becomes a temple of younglings in an instant. Purge troopers and bounty hunters are really what keep it interesting though, as they tend not to be affected as much by the force powers. The key words there being as much, as the force does allow you to cheat by force pushing them off a cliff for an easy kill. Is it the most honourable strat in the world? No. Do I care? No. No, I don't. Aside from the combat, the game is broken down into a series of maps across different planets from the Star Wars universe. Traversing these maps is a blend of puzzle platforming and parkour/free running, and this is where the game takes a bit of a dive for me. The traversal is bad, specifically the ropes and slides, but the other areas like wall running aren't that great either. I died a lot of times in this game, and most of it wasn't even from the challenge of combat. It was just the terrible slides which have jumps and gaps and precision jumps needed to grab a rope. Ropes got a bit easier when force pull was introduced, but they were still inconsistent, and there's nothing fun about getting around the planets of Jedi Fallen Order. It doesn't feel fun, and honestly it drags down the rest of the game to a grind at points, and that's coming from someone who wasn't even bothered by the literal balancing act that was Death Stranding's movement. To wrap this up, I think it's best to say that Jedi Fallen Order is a good Star Wars game that has a few glaring issues that stop it from being a truly great one. It's a game I had a lot of fun with, and I could honestly see myself going back to 100% it, but it's also a game that's weighed down by its weaker parts, and honestly, that stops it from achieving its true potential as a video game. If you're looking for a solid time in the Star Wars universe, you really can't go wrong with Jedi Fallen Order. I want to see a sequel of this in the not too distant future, hopefully, but one with less of a focus on its parkour, and more of a focus on its excellent and gripping narrative, and its extremely fun combat system, both of which are the real reasons you should pick up this game if you're a fan of the Star Wars lore. For more VividChim content, why not hit that subscribe button and that bell to let you know when I upload a video. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on Jedi Fallen Order right now though, you can head over to the VividChim Patreon, where we have the How Bad Gonna Be extended podcast, which is me talking about this in a bit more depth that I couldn't squeeze into this little video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.